So why do I feel that the 35 to 150 f2 to f2.8 from Tamron is one of the best in the market? It's kind of self-explanatory, but if you have a lens that does most of what you need, then of course it's going to be invaluable. So I also have a 16 to 35 and now this, which is the 35 to 150. So with two lenses, I have everything from 16 all the way to 150mm at f2 and f2.8. And I think personally that's invaluable to have. As someone that does street photography, lifestyle, automotive, portrait, and everything else in between, I think it's really important for us as photographers to have a lens like that. Now, it's not going to be for everyone. I know that a lot of people like to shoot primes, and with prime lenses, of course, you're going to get a sharper image. That's just factual. With this though, it gives me something those primes don't. I can go out on an evening like this and capture a massive array of different types of photos. And that, in itself, is something that I've missed doing. It's been a while since I've shot on this, the 35 150, and I don't know why I've waited so long to shoot on it again. If you don't have one, I think you should. I think you should go and get one, or at least hire one, and you realize how amazing they are. Now, while walking down Embankment, there is a lot of different shots you can get of the Shard, like the CBD area, so like the Lloyd's building, 22 Bishopsgate, and St. Paul's from back here. And here is really nice. If I get it nice and lined up, I'll show you the photo in just a minute. But if you get it all nice and lined up and you get the bus going through, it actually looks really nice. So if I pop you guys just by there, you can kind of see over there, that's St. Paul's. Obviously this is going to be 150mm. I'm going to try it without a tripod because I do actually think I have quite stable hands. So we'll go 0.5 of a second, I say 100. I'm going to put it up to my eye to get the photo. And I think I got that. Yes. Oh, that actually looks pretty sick. Considering that's handheld, that's actually really good. Nice. Okay, let's move on to the next location. Now, as I'm walking down Embankment, I have a little bit of a fact for you, a little bit of history. Do you see these sphinxes here, these statues in the background? If you actually go up close to them, you can actually see it on the wall as well. But if you go up close, let's put my camera up there. I'll turn you guys around. Turn you around. If you go up close, you can see all these holes in the Sphinx, and you can see it all on the wall. See all these little holes and all this? You see this up here? Another hole. A fun little fact for you is that all of those holes are from when London was bombed in World War II. Bit of history for you. I've made it down to Bank, which is actually one of my favourite locations in London, as some of you may know. Today's walk is kind of just, I arrived today basically in London, because for those that don't know, I don't actually live in London anymore. I live actually down in southwest Wales, and every video that I do, I'm travelling to go and do, either to London or wherever I am. Today I arrived from southwest Wales after a tasty 5.5 hour, 6 hour journey. And I thought, well, it's late evening, let's grab the most versatile lens that I have and just go out and see what we can find. And often that's the case where I get somewhere and I'm like, you know what, I want to go out, I want to go and see the city and kind of get my feel. I'm here today, tomorrow, and then I leave on Thursday. Tomorrow I've got 3 videos that I'm going to go and shoot. This is kind of the one video where I don't actually have a plan. The videos that I'm doing tomorrow are very much planned and ready to go. I just need to go out and shoot them and we'll be all good. Oh, that's a vibe. Look at this. Look at this for a vibe. See, that there was a perfect example of why whenever I arrive at a city, I just pick up my camera and head out. I know it might seem quite mundane and simple, but with the steam coming off the cleaner, the guy that was like cleaning the floor, that steam coming up with him working, it was definitely a vibe, which obviously if I hadn't gone out, I wouldn't have got. And I think that's kind of like it, you know. I want people just to pick up their cameras and just go outside and create. Now, the plan was to get all the way down to Tower Bridge, but unfortunately my battery died on the camera and I didn't have a second one with me because this was all just about going out and getting some photos, which, to be honest, was really nice just to walk around with the camera, not really thinking too much like a POV or anything like that, just walking around, getting the photos, and to be honest, I got some really decent shots, which obviously you can see over the screen while I'm talking. The 35-150 is, now obviously there are some drawbacks. There's drawbacks with every single lens. I don't know if there's a perfect lens. Maybe there is a perfect lens. I'll do a video about that. The 35-150 is, it's what it gives you in terms of the range. So because you have obviously 35mm, it's super wide, like I've already said, and then you lovely compression at 150mm. It's not, you can't beat it. It's so good. The only thing I don't like is it's not internal zoom. If it was internal zoom, like that would be unbelievable. But having f2 to f2.8, it's incredible. You've got essentially a couple of different prime lenses all stored into one, and it's nice. It's a great lens. The only drawback is obviously with prime lenses, as I mentioned already, they are sharper. The 35-150 is definitely not unsharp. It's definitely sharp, especially when you get like f2.8 to f4. It's incredibly sharp. I think the sharpest I found it for just during the day is around f5.6, 6.3 is its like optimum sharpness in my opinion. So just keep that in mind. It is heavy, like it's not light. It's definitely not a light lens. It's a lot of glass. I would say it's comparable to the 7200 Mark 1, maybe a little bit lighter than the 7200 Mark 1 from Sony, but I would put it in that same bracket. The only advantage is you're getting the 35-150 range. The negative to it is it's not an internal zoom. So it's, you know, there's pros and cons for every lens, as there is for every camera, every piece of equipment. But I would say the positives of the 35-150 outweigh anything else. And I generally think it is, in the title obviously it said cheat code. I think it is a cheat code. I think it allows us to have so much range, and there's a lot of jobs that I've gone and done and I've just taken this lens and I don't need anything else. 35 is wide enough for a lot of the stuff that I do, so it's actually amazing to have that. So I do highly recommend it as maybe as your main lens or as your second lens. I've recommended it to like hundreds of people because it is just a great lens. I would always recommend, if you're ever thinking about buying a lens, I would recommend hiring it first. You can use sites like Fat Llama in the UK, which is a site where you rent it off other people, other creators. You could rent it off the likes of Wex or maybe Park Cameras. I don't know if they do. Do they do rental? Or London Camera Exchange? I think they do rent. Or try and loan it. You can even, if you're a pro photographer, you can reach out to the camera body that you use and you can sign up to be a pro photographer for them. That doesn't mean you're sponsored by them. It just means that you might have access to loan lenses. Sometimes you have to pay a deposit, which is not equal to the amount of the lens, but it just covers the cost if it goes missing or whatever. I know a lot of companies do that. So if you are a pro photographer or you do it full time, maybe consider reaching out to, you know, Sony, Nikon, Canon, Fujifilm, etc., whoever you work for. And they normally have a place on their website you can ask that question. This doesn't help for the Tamron, but I'm just saying if you're looking for gear in the future, I would always recommend loaning or renting the piece of gear you want to buy first, because it's going to allow you to understand whether or not you can see it in your bag. That way you're only covering the cost of the rental, which is probably no more than 50 quid in a day, and then you get to understand whether or not it's something you want. As always with these videos, I'm going to be looking at the hashtag Opticalwander over on Instagram, where you can show me the piece of work, the content that you're doing, the photography you're doing, and I get to showcase it on this channel. So let's throw a screen record on. So I'm going to do, we'll go to the hashtag Opticalwander, go to tags, go on there. I'm going to have to do a scroll because it shows the most recent ones, and I've already seen these ones at the top. So I'm going to do a little bit of a scroll and just look at stuff that catches my eye like this. I love the vibe in this shot from Photo Finner. Did I say that right? Sorry if I said that wrong, dude. I quite like the vibe in this. I like the grade. It's really warm, lovely warm tones. I like that. Very simplistic, very like everyday photos, which is nice. I like that. This shot, which is really, wow, that's insane. That's crazy. Look at the snow. This vibe, love that. Same dude, so obviously I like the color grades, really like that. Going down a bit more, see if we can get a few other people. That sunrise or sunset, probably sunrise actually because of the direction. And it even says Tower Bridge sunrises. Love the shot. Let's do one more. We'll go with these car shots here. That's nice. I like the way you've set them up like that. That's nice. It's like the red and the white. Really nice. Let's keep going. Let's have a quick look through. Nice. If you do want to get featured on this video, you can just use the hashtag Opticalwander. I'm not here to criticize. I'm here to just look at some of the work and hopefully give you guys a little bit of a feature at the end of every video. And hopefully, if you guys like the photos that you see, head over to Instagram and go and give them a follow, because we're all here as a team and as a community. All of the photos in today's video were edited with my presets. There's a link in the description to the preset page. You get 188 desktop presets and 164 mobile presets, all included in that one pack. It is £9 or $12 in the US. The website's in US dollars just because it's easier, it's more universal. People know the dollars rather than pounds. But yeah, $12 and you get all of that. And I think there's a bunch of tutorials in there as well, if I remember rightly. I think there is. But if you have any questions, just reach out on Instagram or send me an email or whatever. With all that being said, create more, stress less, and I'll see you in the next one.